Haven of Rest Missionary Baptist Church, Sunday School Lesson number 7, April 17, 2016. The lesson is entitled Spiritual Deliverance. The lesson comes from Luke chapter 8, verses 26 through 36. We were asked to read Luke 8, 26 through 39. The time is 28 AD. The place is the region of Gadarenes. The golden text reads, They came to Jesus and found the man out of whom the devils were departed, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind. Luke 8:35. There's three outlines. A bound man, coming from Luke 8:26 through 39 to 29. A freed man, Luke 8:30 through 33, and a delivered man, Luke 8:34 through 36. The aim of today's lesson looks at one of the gospel accounts in which Jesus cast out demons. We acknowledge the reality of demon possession, but we hold that a believer who is indwelt by the Holy Spirit cannot be demon possessed. Rather, the focus of this lesson is on satanic and demonic influence, for Christians can be influenced by Satan and his demons. This study will help Christians restrict such influence or be delivered from it if they presently are battling it. Facts to understand the reality of demonic influence. Principle to have confidence that victory over demonic influence is possible. Application to take steps to guard against demonic influence and or remove ourselves from it. Introduction. In his account of this incident, Luke stressed the saving of a man, the fear of the spectators, and the abyss as the final destiny of the demons. As Jesus had claimed the sea, he now calmed the demon-afflicted man. There has always been a fascination with the angelic world, including both the holy angels and the unholy demons. The Bible gives us many glimpses into things yet unseen, but it never goes into detailed descriptions. Those without knowledge of the Bible indulge in a lot of speculation, including the thought that diseased people become angels, something not taught in Scripture. What is clear from Scripture is the truth that demons are more powerful than we want to give them credit for. Those who dabble in the occult usually do not realize what they are encountering. They verge on the reality of allowing Satan into their lives in dangerous ways. In the Bible, we find that those who were freed from such satanic influence were delivered from evil. A bound man. Luke chapter 8, verse 26. And they arrived at the country of Gadarenes, which is over against Galilee. 27. And when he went forth to land, there met him out of the city a certain man which had devils long time, and wear no clothes, neither abode in any house but in the tombs. 28. When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him with a loud voice said, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, the Son of God Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not. 29. For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For oftentimes it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters. And he brake the bands and was driven off the devil into the wilderness. What is significant about Jesus' trip there is that he went into Gentile territory. We are quite certain of this being Gentile territory because there would not have been a large herd of pigs in the Jewish territory. Leviticus 11, 7 through 8 makes it clear that these animals were unclean to the Jews, like Luke was evidently showing that Jesus purposely made such a trip. Since Luke is also the author of Acts, in which there is detailed information about the gospel going to the Gentiles, we understand his motives here. When Jesus and his disciples landed, they were met by a demon-possessed man. Three facts are recorded about him. He had been possessed for a long time. He was running around naked, and he lived among the tombs in a cemetery instead of in a house. These tombs were carved out of hillsides, resulting in cave-like mausoleums. Wealthy people made tombs with more than one chamber in preparation for several family members. The not yet used chambers could be used for shelter by men like this. Cemeteries were usually located in the isolated places rather than close by the cities. This would certainly have been preferable for people like this man who was shunned by society and maybe preferred to be off by himself anyway. The demon's fear. Luke 8:28. This man came to meet the boat as Jesus and his disciples were exiting it. His motive was probably to attempt to scare them away, at least until he recognized Jesus. Mark depicts him as a very powerful and uncontrollable. No man could bind him. No, not with chains, because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces. Neither could any man tame him. As soon as the man recognized Jesus, he cried out and fell on his face before him. This was not worship, but rather grudging submission to Jesus' authority. He apparently shouted out to Jesus at the top of his voice in a combination of fear, anger, and defense when he cried, "What have I to do with thee, Jesus?" He was uttering a request to be left alone. Perhaps it was acknowledgement that they had absolutely nothing in common with each other. Jesus healed and gave life, but demons destroyed. The man, actually the demons, acknowledged Jesus as the Son of the Most High God. This is almost exactly what was said by the demon Jesus encountered in the synagogue in Capernaum. That demon said, "Let us alone. What have we to do with thee? Thou, Jesus of Nazareth, art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of God." This corresponds with the declaration in James 2:9 that believest that there is one God. Thou dost well. The devils also believe and tremble. The demon's primary request was not to be tormented. This was a clear admission of their recognition of Jesus' authority over them and his ability to exercise judgment unto them. Demons know that their ultimate fate is eternal imprisonment, as well as be seen in a few verses. The demon's power. Luke 8:29. Jesus had already commanded this demon and his companions to leave this man. He knew how powerful these demons were and what they had been doing in and through the man. Luke revealed that they had been exercising their power repeatedly in their use of this human being. Demons are fallen angels who were originally created to serve God. Though fallen, they remain powerful and can effectively do works that are against God's people. Demons hate everything associated with God and his plan, and this is especially true about their hatred for his people. The demonic objective is to destroy them in any way that will fulfill Satan's purposes. They are completely devoted to evil and the accomplishment of the will of their master, Satan. Their power can be seen in what they were doing with this man. He exhibited such physical strength, being empowered by the demons inhabiting him, that others were unable to subdue him. Luke said that even when people were able to bind him with chains and shackles, he was able to break them and thus free himself again. He was also unable to control his own actions. We read that the demon caught him and drove him into the wilderness. The Life Application Bible Commentary on Luke notes, these words ought to cause anyone to stop and consider who Satan is and what his army of demons attempts to do. The story shows their hatred of anything living or beautiful. They always seek to destroy and ruin. It also reveals their power. Although Satan is not as powerful as God, he is For he is a created being, he still exerts great power over this world. The story also shows Satan's cruelty. He is a cruel and ruthless master, a freed man. Verse 30. And Jesus asked him, saying, What is thy name? And he said, Legion, because many demons were entered into him. 31. And they besought him that he would not command them to go out into the deep. 32. And there was there an herd of many swine feeding on the mountain. And they besought him that he would suffer them to enter into them, and he suffered them. 33. Then went the devils out of the man and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the lake and were choked. The demon's request, Luke chapter 8, 30 through 31. When Jesus asked the demon his name, he replied, Legion. Luke says there were many demons in him. A Roman legion was numbered between 3,000 and 6,000 men, which indicates the number of in the man was very large, even if not exactly that many. Jesus had previously driven individual demons out of people, but this time he faced an entire army of them. This man truly was extremely dangerous, but Jesus was about to show his authority over the entire demonic population. Now that all of them recognized the authority Jesus had over them, they repeatedly begged him not to send them into the deep. They knew he was not going to allow them to stay in the man, so they were eager for any alternative. They did not, however, want to be sent to the most dreaded place they knew about. Revelations 9:1 refers to an angel from heaven being given the key to the bottomless pit, and 20 verses 1 through 3 refers to it as the place occupied by Satan during the millennium. 2 Peter 2:4 and Jude 1:6 mention a place where certain fallen angels are currently being held captive in chains and under darkness, waiting for their judgment. For whatever reason, they are apparently guilty of some horrific activity and are not allowed freedom to roam creation. The demons facing Jesus beg not to be sent to that interim jail. The demons' destruction. Luke 8:32 through 33. Demons apparently always desire to inhabit some kind of body as an alternative to being sent to the deep. They asked for permission to enter the bodies of the large herd of swine that was feeding nearby. Mark 5:13 says there were about 2,000 in the herd, which was a significantly large one. They probably would have preferred entering the people of the nearby city, but they knew Jesus would never grant that, so they opted for the pigs. Luke then says that he permitted them to enter the pigs. This is a good reminder that Satan and his hosts have no power or authority on their own. While the devil is currently called the god of this world, that does not mean he has freedom to do anything and everything he wants. He is still under the controlling hand of God and cannot go beyond what he permits. We cannot help wondering, however, why Jesus did not just destroy these demons right then and there. Jesus often cast demons out of people without destroying them. We must conclude that in God's timetable, it was not the right time for such action. Jesus was allowing Satan's evil power to be revealed, as he does today as well. We sometimes ask why certain evil things are allowed to occur on earth now, knowing that Jesus could easily step in and stop them. Once again, we are faced with the reality that it is not yet God's time for such action. Satan is being allowed to display how evil he really is. And though we often wish God would step in, he is waiting until the time for eternal action. The reaction of the swine was violent. This peaceful herd of pigs suddenly became extremely agitated and raced off the mountain slide headlong into the lake and drowned. A delivered man. Verse 34. When they that fed them saw what was done, They fled and went and told it in the city and in the country. 35. Then they went out to see